Yo guys, what's up? Welcome back to r/IDontWorkHereLady, where Karen wants to kick a homeless man out of a charity shop. If you are new around here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to join our awesome community. And now, without wasting any more time, let's dive right into the stories. Sorry, wrong number. My first year of college, I lived in a dorm. It sucked a lot, and so when my friend Paula asked me if I would like to go in on an apartment with her and her incredibly cute friend Heather, I said heck yes. We each took a utility. Paula had the gas bill, Heather had electric, and I had the phone. I bought a telephone and an answering machine at a Lekmir, and sorry if I butchered the pronunciation, and we recorded a cutesy outgoing message. Within minutes we had our first call. A guy looking for Abby Auto Rental. I told him he had the wrong number and hung up. He called back immediately.
Abby Auto Rental?
Nope, me again. What number are you trying to reach? He read off my new phone number. I said, well, that's the number here, but this is a private residence. He said,
well, I guess you're effed, because there is a half-page ad for Abby Auto Rental in the yellow pages with that number. Lots of luck.
I grabbed the yellow pages and flipped to the car rental section. Sure enough, it was our number. I guess they had gone out of business fairly recently for the ad to still be included in the phone book. So we changed our cutesy outgoing message to, sorry, this is not Abby Auto Rental. They are out of business. You have reached Dave, Paula and Heather. Please leave a message. It made no difference whatsoever. People kept leaving messages for Abby Auto Rental. At the end of the year, Paula and Heather moved out and Dan and Jorma moved in. Jorma used to enjoy messing with the callers. He would take down their credit card number and make a reservation promising free delivery just as it said in the ad. Then he would go off to class. When the reservation time rolled around, the customer would call back furious at the absence of their rental car, and frequently I would be the one to answer the phone. Dave, hello? Irate customer,
where the hell is my car?
Dave, sorry, Abby Auto Rental went out of business 2 years ago. Irate customer,
what are you talking about? I gave my credit card number to someone this morning.
Dave, you must have been talking to the ghost of Mr. Abby. Woo! Irate customer,
I'm coming down there to kick your butt.
Dave, okay, see you soon. You have the address from the ad, right? How are you going to get there with no car? When Jorma moved out and Michelle moved in, we decided it was time to change the outgoing message again. We left longer and longer messages, but the calls kept coming. They had phone books and the phone books were 3 years old. Abby Auto Rental must exist. It must. Finally, I went out and bought a longer tape for the outgoing message. I recorded The Gift by the Velvet Underground. This song is 8 minutes and 16 seconds long. The left channel is the band noodling around aimlessly on their guitars, and the right channel is a male voice with a British accent, telling a story about a man who mailed himself to his girlfriend. We told all our friends to just hit the star key to bypass the outgoing message. This finally eliminated the car rental messages. I left the answering machine that way and tried to forget about it. Almost a year later, I came home to a light blinking on the machine. It was the peevish voice of a little old lady who had clearly listened to the entire story, including the part where the girlfriend uses a sheet metal cutter to open the box, accidentally killing her boyfriend. The message said,
that's a very nice story, but it doesn't help me. I want to rent a car.
Makes you wonder, if OP was the only person who had that number, why did he not call the phone company? But apparently, he mentioned in the comments that this never occurred to him. Woman wants homeless man kicked out of charity shop. Short story from when I volunteered at a charity OP shop. The shop I volunteered at was 100% non-profit, so what little money that was made went to the homeless and at-risk youth. The shop mainly sold things like blankets, children's clothes and non-luxury items, and the majority of people who shopped there were below the poverty line or straight up homeless. Greta, mean old bag in her 60s, homeless guy, and me for me. A nicely dressed woman walks up to the counter and in a louder than normal voice says, Greta,
You there, get off your phone and go see if you have cookie jars.
I was not even on my phone was in my pocket and I was making eye contact before she spoke. Me, there are some 3 on the shelf just there, points to a shelf not even 10 feet away. Greta huffs like I'm an idiot.
I don't want any of those, I'm looking for collectible ones.
Me, sorry, that's all we have. We may have some collectible biscuit tins though. Greta,
I'm not after stupid tins, I'm looking for vintage, novelty cookie jars.
me, sorry, cut off by her demanding.
Go look out the back.
Me, there is no out the back, that's all we have. We immediately put all donated items on the shelf. Greta,
I know there's a back room.
Storms off. Immediately after she walked to the back of the very small store, a homeless man walks up and asks if he could hold some items till he could afford them. The items were a blanket, a beanie and a reusable water bottle. He said he could pay $3 now and get the rest later. The total was $7. I was about to tell him the $3 would be enough to cover all of it when we both hear,
Why put your grubby hands on them if you knew you couldn't afford it? And you,
looks at me.
Why haven't you kicked him out? Doesn't this store have any class?
Greta, before I could say a thing,
You lied to me, there's a back area.
Points to an exit to a closed court area we share with another business. Me to the homeless guy. Would you like a bag of bread as well? We give out free bread. He tried to give me his $3, but I told him it was free and to be safe. Meanwhile, the lady has been swapping between trying to talk over me and mumbling how she knew people who would get me fired. The homeless guy left and I turned my attention back to Greta, but she had already walked up to the back door that said staff only and made a self-congratulating noise as she rushed through the door to the courtyard and let it slam behind herself. An important thing about the door is you can only open it from the inside. I heard immediately a muffled strand of insults and let me in. My plan was to wait 5 minutes, but less than 1 minute passed and I could hear the other business let her throw their way, followed by a phone call telling me how Greta went off at them and how she would have shut us down. If a person ever deserved a permanent ban, then it is Greta or Greta, whatever she's called. Also, if you have watched until here, please don't forget to post some stars in the comments and like the video if you want to support me. Thank you very much. Horrible cheap Karen makes me cry. So I work in an Italian restaurant, it's kind of upscale for the town, food is nice and the cocktails are amazing. I was waitressing section B, it's the biggest section with the bigger tables. I had a few tables in already, mainly 4s, a group booking of 17 arrive. A few arrive early, but it's not worries. I grabbed them drinks and all is well. Then comes the discount questions. So each group within this 17 want to pay separately and have their own bill. I explain that I cannot do individual bills as it's very confusing for kitchen and myself. It makes ringing through the order about 10 minutes longer each. They then also tell me they have a discount code and I explain once again that you cannot have a discount on split bills but would be more than happy to put it on one bill and let them figure out what they need to pay and then ring the payments through. They want the manager. Okay Karen, just ignore me. Manager goes over, says the same thing as me, he leaves and then Karen complains about how she did not like the manager. I apologize and the rest of the party leave. All goes well, everyone is happy with the food, I sing happy birthday with a cake, I am liked again. Payment, hell breaks loose. They want to use 2 25% off codes to get 50% off and I'm like, no, it doesn't work like that. I hand them their bill and they get mad because apparently it's my job to know what they each had and the prices with a 25% discount, but when I nicely explained that I could not do that and they would have to work that out themselves, they decided to scream at me, loudly, saying I was incompetent and that something was wrong with me. I left them to it to go cry in the back. I grew up in an abusive household and could not handle shouting at me, especially when I had found out I might not be able to move into my flat after being homeless and staying at my boyfriend's place. Manager explains that they have upset me and they need to calm down. Full-on argument in the restaurant.
My 18-year-old could do it fine.
Great for her, Karen, you cheap witch. She then told us that we are incapable of doing our jobs and we should reprogram the till to allow her to add 2 25% discounts onto her bill, and then she proceeded to hug me and kiss me on the cheek and have the audacity to say,
"It will be okay."
They then left and did not even tip. If you ask me, that woman sounds like a textbook narcissist and the whole family seems kind of trashy. I'm curious if any of my viewers also work as a waitress or have worked in the past. How many times on average do you come across people that don't tip at all? Let us know in the comments. Overbearing Karen thinks I work in a doctor's office and tries to get me to violate HIPAA and then threatens to have me fired when I don't. So as part of my actual job, my company sends me to different clinics to audit their invoices to ensure insurance companies are not getting scammed for unnecessary or unperformed patient procedures. It happens more than you know. Normally, when I'm at a clinic, they will stick me in an unused office or a cubicle so I'm out of sight and don't interfere with their normal operations. However, yesterday, during a clinic visit, they did not have anywhere to put me except the front desk with the receptionist. This was not a problem for me since it does happen on occasion and I'm just there to get the job done and head out. So I am sitting there in the front office desk looking over the clinic's documents when the receptionist gets called back to assist with a patient. After a few minutes, I hear someone cough slightly to the right of me and look up. I will call her Karen because she had the haircut and the attitude. Karen, in a rude voice,
"I've been standing here for the past couple of minutes and you've yet to acknowledge me. You should be ashamed of yourself. Is this how this clinic is run?"
Me, "I'm sorry ma'am, the receptionist just stepped out for a moment. She will be back soon. I cannot help you as I don't work here." She looks me up and down like she's judging how I'm dressed. I should mention that I'm dressed in standard business attire. Blazer, shirt, tie and black slacks with my company logo and name tag hanging from a lanyard.
Karen, how stupid do you think I am? You're sitting at the front desk of a clinic dressed like that and you don't work here? I should file a complaint against you with your boss.
Me? Listen ma'am, I've already told you I don't work here. Take it or leave it, but I work for company name and hold up my badge. Now if you will excuse me, I have to get back to my work and ignore her. Karen, now infuriated,
"How dare you? Do you know who I am? My husband works with the owner of this clinic and he will be hearing about your poor customer service skills."
Me, still looking at documents, "Good for him. I repeat, I don't work here. Wait for the receptionist." Karen tries to change tactics and fake smiles at me.
"Look, I'm sure you're busy, so I won't take much of your time. All I need to know is my daughter-in-law's next OB appointment. Her name is Karen Jr. It should not take you too long to find her in your calendar. I just need to know what time it is so I can be here to meet her."
Me, now looking at her, "Are you deaf? I've already told you I don't work here, and even if I did, you're asking me to violate HIPAA laws. Do you know how serious that is? You need to ask her directly if she's willing to have you with her. Though, I doubt it." Karen,
"You don't know what you're talking about. That witch should have told me when she was scheduling her first ultrasound. That's my grandchild in there, and I need to be here to see him. Now tell me when her appointment is, otherwise I will have you fired."
Me, "You need help, lady. You need to leave now before I have someone call security." Karen,
"You're threatening me?"
The doctor and receptionist hear the loud commotion and come out to the front desk. Doctor, "What's going on here?" Me, "This woman does not understand that I don't work for you and she's trying to find out her in-law's appointment." Karen, now panicking,
"Your receptionist,"
pointing at me,
"has been useless and won't give me the information I've asked for. He needs to be fired."
Receptionist, to Karen, "He doesn't work here. Doctor, I will take care of this." And she intercoms the security office. "Hi, we need a guard to come to office 123 to escort someone out. She's disturbing one of our vendors." And says, "Thank you, once they confirm, someone will be here shortly." Once Karen realizes she's about to be escorted out,
"I'm not leaving. I have a right to know how my grandson is doing. I have a right."
She starts shouting profanities at us for a couple of minutes when a burly security guard arrives and tells her to leave, otherwise he will call the police on her for trespassing. She refuses, so he grabs her by the arm and drags her, screaming, out of the office. That was the last I saw of her, but the receptionist called the daughter-in-law to inform her what just happened. After the call, the receptionist laughs and tells me that the in-law did not want the woman anywhere near her and her baby to be. It seems her and her husband are in no contact, which explained part of the craziness. Karen be like,
I have a right to a baby that is not mine.
But if you ask me, it's pretty obvious why the couple has gone no contact with Karen. I don't work here, I don't work for you, and unless you really impress me, you don't work here either. Many years ago, when my niece still worked and there was more hair on my head than on my chin, I had a very cool job. I worked as a hatchet man. Sadly, that does not mean I worked for the mafia, hitting people with axes. I worked for a small company that was employed by large companies that needed to downsize but wanted all of the anger from that downsizing aimed outside corporate management. We all good so far? Good. My bosses gave us all a lot of leeway on how we researched the companies we were sent to, and we all developed our own style. Mine was to get the large company to bring me in as a new minion in whichever department was having the most issues. I would then spend 4 to 6 weeks doing minion work, listening to folk gripe and seeing where changes need to be made. You also get a real good look at the true character of the management, and a lot of the worst are very different when they are talking to a superior and a junior. More than one company was profoundly shocked when I went in and fired a third of the junior management, half the senior, and merged departments, and they thought I was going to be firing minions, not bosses. One company stands out to me, and I wanted to share a magical moment of purest joy with you all. I was brought in on the shipping floor of a large warehouse. One of the reasons I was hired is that I have had a lot of different low-end jobs when I was younger, followed by extensive experience in assorted management roles. Day 1, there I am in store brand jeans and tee, and the floor supervisor hands me a manual I could have used to beat down a Badger Lord in full plate armor. This thing was insane. I looked my confusion at the super, and he explained that that was indeed the operating manual for putting toys in boxes and then sticking an address label on the side. That first week would have been pure hell if this was my actual job. Everything was insanely overcomplicated, which led to incorrect orders being sent, and staff were actually getting wage penalties for low accuracy. Anyway, a little chatting with my co-workers at lunch, and I find out that the new warehouse manager was some sort of relation of the owners who had a degree from some fancy business school and had been brought in almost a year back, fresh out of uni, and given this position. Power had gone to her head, and her total lack of any kind of experience had quickly left her in the shit. Realizing she was neck deep and sinking fast, she panicked, drove out the veteran management that could have helped her, and just flailed wildly. Often wandering out into the warehouse to nitpick over details that did not matter, scream at employees, and never in high vis. Red flag, red flag, red flag. Now don't get me wrong, the business had other issues, and this was not going to be a quick fix. But I had pretty much identified problem number 1. So, 4 weeks in, and I had identified where they were losing money shipping, their shipper was absolutely effing them on prices, through a loophole in the contract, learned that over beer and pool with the shipping guys. And a couple of minor issues, and I was ready to take the gloves off and really get stuck in. Now bear in mind that for the last 4 weeks, this lady has seen me 6 days a week wearing scuffed steelies and own brand clothing. She blew up at me a couple of times for reminding her that high vis was required, but I had not made a huge impression. Monday morning, I walk in at 9 AM, start of office hours. She blew up. She tore into me about being 3 hours late for my shift, that she could fire and replace me like that. By the way, she loved that threat, yada yada yada. Then she started to run down as she noticed a few details. Like, my normally mussed hair was perfectly styled, I was clean shaven and not scraggly. I was wearing a $1,500 designer suit and hand-stitched Italian shoes. princesses notice labels. Good morning, I said. I am some English guy 111 from Ketchum, Guttum and Laugh. Here's my business card. Her face now looked like week-old porridge. Office rumors had been rife as word had leaked that my company was coming in. And this is a moment that, even all these years later, still brings a warm, happy feeling to the cockles of my dark and crusty heart. Young lady, I don't work here, I don't work for you, and unless you absolutely impress me over the next couple of weeks, you won't work here either. The rest of the office were staring in a mix of shock and glee as I lead her into her office. I sat in her chair and I took a large pad from my briefcase, gift from my boss. Turns out she was not a bad kid, just scared and in over her head. Once she realized that I did not have an axe to grind and not only could help her, but she was actually kind of sweet, latched onto me like a puppy with separation anxiety. I worked with her to fix her insane rules and shitty behavior. We got rid of a couple of genuinely toxic folk and basically turned the place around. I swear, the best bit of that job was watching the faces of shitty toxic folk, bullies and lazy twats as they walked into the office. Whichever office I was in, and they realized that the new guy they had been dicks to was the guy deciding their fate. I loved that. It is always fascinating to me to hear stories like this about such interesting jobs. I mean, the part where he's playing pool and drinking beer with the guys to get intel, it almost sounds like he's a spy. But anyway guys, that's all the content I have for you today. I hope you have a fantastic day. Thank you for watching and I see you again tomorrow.